If we're watching us, shouldn't it be at the other end?
Are we watching us? Or
Yeah.
No.
Don't worry about it, it's not a race. Okay, if I had my pet goats in a pen that had an area of 48 metres squared, what are the lengths of each side and what is the perimeter of my goat? Who would like to come and represent, show me how I work out the area? Monica? Sunny, do you want to come up as well? You can both have a turn on each whiteboard. There's a little bit of space under here, you can both draw on that one. I want you to think about what you notice. I'm going to talk about what you notice and what you can see in a moment. So make sure you are watching your peers up on the whiteboard. Explain what you've done with your area, how you've solved that.
So just put them around and then I added 8 plus 8, which is 16, then I did 6 plus 6, which is 12, and then I added 12 plus 16 to get 21, so
Who can remember what is another way that you could have solved the area? What's another way you could have worked it out? Does anyone remember our rule? Our specific rule when we're working out area? Can you explain
I did
first?
6 meters plus, times 8 meters is 48 meters times divided by 2. And then 4 divided by 48 is 12, so that got me to 12 meters.
So what's 12 meters, sorry?
12 meters by 2.
What's your answer? What's 12 meters the answer of? So, what are the lengths of each side, do you mean? Is that what you would get? Okay.
Can you remember, Isabel, what the formula is for calculating the area? Is that something that you recall? Can someone else add, Alicia? Okay, so one side times the other.
How do I know?
Do you know the actual formula?
Yeah.
How we say it?
No, but I thought we'll put hands up to come up and...
No, I'm just wanting to
Sorry,
see
question
whether anybody knows the actual, how we would say the formula for an area. Kabesh?
length plus width. Length times width.
Good. So
Do y times x.
length times width.
So that means I don't go 8 times 8 because that's going to give me a different answer. So it's the length times the width. I don't need to do anything. If I'm doing area, do I need to do anything with these other numbers? Or can I just do 8 times 6?
Y stands for 6 and x
other numbers.
No.
Okay, and that's represented in my meters, and then we've got squared. That tells me that it's an area answer.
So Sammy and Monica have the same answer, the same values. Is there anybody who had different values or had a different way that this could have been solved? Jordan, would you like to share what's on yours? Why not? Can I ask you why not? Did you get the same answer though?
They got
Yeah. So, I know, and I understand that Jordan's not comfortable necessarily sharing this, but I wanted to see whether anyone else had the same thinking as Jordan. Can you just turn around, Jordan, and just go do a bit of this so that people can see the numbers that you worked with, which had the same answer? Was there anyone else who used 12 and 4, for example?
Yeah.
Alexa?
I did 2, I did 6 times 8 and 12 things.
Okay, so you did, because 6 times 8 is 48, but 12 times 4 is also 48, yeah? Does that change the perimeter? What was your perimeter?
22.
So,
For 6 times 8.
for 6 times 8, what was your perimeter, Jordan, for 12 times 4? Because it would be, you'd have 12 and 12 and 4 and 4. 12 and 12 is 24. What's plus 4 plus 4?
Not quite. You can see the gears going around.
32.
Good. So Jordan's area was the same, but his perimeter was different. And Alexa did both options. How would we know which is correct? So isn't that like quite a possibility, Ellie, that we could have different answers, even though they've got the same area, we can have different ways of working things out. That's okay, yeah. If the question was really specific and gave you one of the lengths and said one of the lengths is 8, then
that might minimise maybe the answers that you get.
that would guide you to be more along the lines of what Monica and Sammy have done. But in an open-ended question like that, in this case there were 2 answers, it could actually be more than that.
yeah, because you plus 8 plus 8,
Yeah.
and then you do 6 plus 6 gives you 28.
And it didn't give us the, yeah, it didn't give us
No.
the perimeter, so that was left quite open.
We didn't have the actual definitive dimensions of it. Is there anyone who was stuck? Is there anyone who would like to nominate and say, you know what, I looked at that question and I was stuck?
I was stuck at the start and then I just got like the main numbers out of it. Like
Okay.
for example, 48 meters times 2, and then I looked at lengths of each side and then I'm like, that's half of 48,
Okay.
which is 24.
Good. Levi?
I was super stuck.
What was it that made you feel stuck?
Because I'm not used to working with like perimeters and stuff, so I just didn't understand most of it. So I felt like a bit stuck.
Okay. Was it because you weren't sure how you were going to, like you were only given one number, and we know that in perimeter and area we're working with either a square or a rectangle. So was it you weren't sure what operation?
Yeah.
We've also got this guy, up top. So for some of us,
Yeah.
we've only had one, I guess, exposure to this, which was the other day when we did some different shapes. Levi wasn't here for that.
No.
So it's interesting, he still had a go and he still wanted to try, even though he missed that kind of, you know, explicit teaching that we had and those conversations that we had. So it's really interesting that, I'm glad you had a go at that as well, Levi. Riley, did you want to share something that you
So
were stuck
me
on?
and Levi were working together there, and the first time we read the question, we didn't read it right.
Yeah.
So we were doing the equation because we thought that it just said you had to get the lengths of each side only using 48.
Oh, I see.
And then we did it, and then we got 12 on each side. And then we reread the questions and realized, well, we need to do this equation all over again.
Yeah. Interesting. Who used the back of their book to see, just look for the number 48 and maybe go from there?
Who drew a diagram? Who drew something on their whiteboard that was squarish and maybe put like Sammy, like put some numbers there, or maybe put 48 in the middle? When we're unpacking worded problems especially, we've got to take on board all of the information we've got, but then try and make sense of it. And the fact that we've got the ability to draw a diagram and then remind us we've got 4 sides, we've got 2 sides, 2 that we put together to make the area. Alright.
Beautiful. Well, we are going to be doing a little bit of measuring today. Thank you, girls.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
Just be mindful, Pat's still going on next door.
We might actually just, do we want to do it just on whiteboards? So we're going to put a couple of, similar to what we've just done, a couple of questions on the board. We want you, as best you can, Kaveen, to have a go at working them out. Ideally on your own, because then we can share our thinking and our process. Alright? We want to just make sure before we really begin our project that we're able to conduct ourselves and understand what we're doing, the maths behind what we're doing. Alright?
Formula.
We can't go out measuring things and creating this awesome project if we are not able to calculate the area, for example. Alright, so we're going to start by just doing a couple of problems on the board. Just looking for a pen that works.
Can I say
Yes, you can't have your dad with you at school though. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? He's a surveyor.
What are we going to do?
Okay. So wipe off your whiteboards, make sure you've got no drawings on there. Okay.
We'll just do one at a time.
Yeah. Well, I recommend maybe, yeah.
Sorry.
So a rectangle, so you already know which kind of, I guess, way you're going to go. Measuring 12 metres on one side and 15 metres on the other side. Rectangle, measuring 12 metres on one side and 15 metres on the other. Find the perimeter. You're also going to find the area. I can see Ava working away. Alfie's using the back of his book. Good work, Alfie. It's a resource.
Alison and Locke, are you actually?
Yeah.
Yeah? It doesn't look like it.
You need to show you're working out. We might call upon you to come up on the board. Why don't you write it out and see if there's a few things you could write down? What could be a strategy that you could use to work that out? So our perimeter is the outside, so we have to make sure we add those together, and then our area is the inside of the shape. Yep, we're going to work out both. You've got to add them all together. So you've got to, maybe label all your sides. No worries.
Alright. Isabel had an interesting question and I would like someone else to help out with that. What is the formula of our perimeter? How do we figure out and solve perimeter? Sammy? No, I don't want an answer. I want to know what's the formula to work out to calculate perimeter.
So what I do is I do like a rectangle.
Okay.
And I do so put it into the middle and then I draw them and then I add them.
Okay, so add. That's
our
the word.
formula.
So how could you phrase it? What am I doing to figure out the perimeter, Hunter?
Length plus width.
Good, I like that. L plus L plus W plus W.
Or L plus W plus L.
Either way you do it, you've got to make sure you've got 2 L's and 2 W's.
Sometimes if we just do, say we did the area before, if you just have 12 and 15, you might get tempted only to add those two, and then you've actually missed 2 of the sides. So you've just got to make sure you allocate for every single side.
So what would be, Will, can you come out from under there please? What would be the formula for area, Ava?
But what, looking at this one,
Length times width. Do I need to do times length times width? Do I need to do it 4 times? No. I only need two of my sides. Whereas perimeter, I need to account for every single side.
Can I ask a question? When I'm representing my answer for perimeter, how do I represent that answer? So I have my number. What comes after the number? Alexa?
A little 2 of the squares.
For perimeter?
I got perimeter.
Okay, so when I have just perimeter and I have my number, what do I write after that number? Monica? Yep, so I have to write the unit of measurement. What I don't need for perimeter, I don't need to have my little additional, my 2.
No.
That's just for area.
So the question tells us that this unit of measurement is what? What am I measuring in? 3 meters. So we can just represent that with a small m. And then for area, it would be m squared.
Because if I do not represent with units of measurement, I need to write what unit of measurement it is. Otherwise, the value is not correct, Abby. If I don't have my to the power of 2 symbol on my area, it changes the value of it completely. So you need to make sure you represent it correctly. And we'll keep practicing with that as well, but just remember for area, it's got the little 2, but for perimeter, you don't need to have it there.
All right. Who would like to share their thinking or their process how they managed to find an answer to this, Cooper?
Wait, just me?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Already in your brain, is it?
Pretend 15 times.
Doesn't need to be representative of a correct looking triangle. As long as you know the numbers and what you're doing with the values, that's the most important thing. Now with this one here, I know obviously you've got the answer there. How did you solve the 12 times 15 initially?
That one was easy. I just used the background book.
Yeah, but can you show us how you did that?
Could you do a vertical algorithm
Yeah.
and show us how you might do that?
Well, I did a full algorithm and then it ended up in 190.
Okay, do you want to do it on the board and we'll work through it together?
Okay.
Some of you might have done the same thing on your board. Yeah.
So talk us through.
Okay.
What do we do first?
Firstly, I start off with 2 times 5, which is 10. And then I did 2 times 1, which is 2, right? Yeah, let's see the image. And then plus 1 is 3. And then I did, oh, wait, I think, okay, anyways. I did 1 times 5, which is 5, and then 1 times 1 is 1, plus that. Oh, I did get it.
Yeah, awesome. Might have just been a calculation error the first time.
Which I guess this is why we always want you guys to show your working out, so that you can go back and have a look and be like, might have made just a calculation error, or you might have forgot a little bit of carrying, you might have forgot to pop your 0 down
Yes.
or something like that. Okay.
Alright.
Is there anyone who had a major issue with this that they would like to volunteer? What was the issue maybe, Mon?
What happens if my other shape has like more than one length which is different?
Yeah. So primarily we are going to work with rectangular shapes.
At
or,
least to start off with,
you know,
are you talking about
four-sided.
like that?
Yeah.
So you would really eventually break it into 2 shapes
Yeah.
and then work it out that way.
Yeah.
But we're going to look at that.
We're
I'm
actually
really
thinking
excited
of
to
doing
look
that
at yeah.
towards the end of term. We'll have a play around because you can also do that with triangles.
Yeah.
You can do circles because you can find the area of a circle. You can find the area of a half circle. Yep, lots of fun stuff.
Yes.
I think they're called polygons. Different, or maybe these are polygons. I don't know. I'm not really up with my maths terminology.
Levi?
Riley was trying to explain it to me that I had to like plus and then times, and I was just so confused.
Okay.
It was just sitting here like, you have to do that, then do that, then do that, then do that.
How are you feeling now, though?
Still not
After we've
confident.
gone through it,
Okay.
do you want to do another one? And maybe
Do you want me to explain
just
it to you
concrete?
slower?
You know what? We might do one more quick one, and then we're going to, in our groups, we're going to go outside really quietly and start doing our measurements outside. All right, and that'll be the end of
Get a
our.
bit of data.
Right.
All right, one more.
Guys, remember they're doing the pack. Let's just pick that up.
Still primarily doing
Yes, Isabel. measuring 64 centimetres on one side and 72 on the other. So just draw your square, doesn't really matter how big it is. 64 on one side. Is Axel here? No. Hayley?
Zane, I'd like you to do this one on your whiteboard, please. So start representing that. So a rectangle measuring 64 centimetres on one side and 72 centimetres on the other. You may not find that answer on the back of your book. Okay. No, not today. Riley, why don't you work with Cooper? If you could explain it as he's going. Okay? Do you want help? Big thing?
Was that not enough explainer?
No. No, not today. That's okay.
You have a triangle that we've got to
Start. Come over here.
the four sides. So if this one's 72 on this side, this one's 72 as
I've
well.
got my
This one's
rectangle.
64 and you've got to plus them all together. That's all four of them together.
What's going to go on each side? The 64 is smaller than the 72, so where's that going to go?
Hunter, stop.
Stop it, Hunter.
You stop. Alright, so next we have to find the perimeter. So we need to know this one is length plus width plus width plus width. So another 64, pop it over here, and 72 down here. And then you're going to add them all together. You can do that in a few different ways. You could go 64 plus 64 plus 72 plus 72, or you could go back and put it in like an algorithm. So you might do like 64 plus 64, and then you might do 72 plus 72, and then add those two answers together. Alright? So that's our perimeter. So we represent that just by putting a little pin there. That's our meters. So what I've done basically is I've plus all of these together and down the outside of that shape. The area is in the middle, so all the stuff inside the shape. So what we do with that is we have to multiply one side by the adjoining side. So 72 is the longest way you go times 60. Show you working out, please. Yeah, so then you would have meters with. Because I've multiplied it, it's got a little 2. Right? So yeah, you work through go 2 times 4, 8, 7 times 4, 28, 2, 6, 12, 6, 7, 2, figure that part of it out.
Alright, guys.
Yeah, do it again. Alright. So I just did a little bit of a powwow up the front with Levi. We worked through a lot of it. Alicia, would you like to explain your thinking and come up and show what you've done? Bigger numbers, same process. Okay, you just have to work through it maybe a little bit more carefully so we make sure we carry. It's okay. Remember, the picture doesn't matter what your rectangle looks like, as long as it's got the right numbers on the sides. See?
Okay, so for the area.
Okay.
I did that, so it's 7.
Awesome. Okay, so 272 meters, or centimeters, sorry. And then you've got 5,008 centimeters squared. Okay. So Alicia's answers how she got that.
Does anyone know about, like 5,000 centimetres is a lot, yeah? How would we maybe better represent that?
How could you make that number smaller?
You could do decimal point. You could do 0.008.5 or 0.58.
A lot of numbers going around. Mom, what do you reckon?
I'm pretty sure you could do 500 and
Why is that, Monica? Why would you? Maybe people down the back could listen. Monica's just shared probably a little bit of our forward learning that we are going to do later on in the term.
Boys.
So rather than have 5,008 centimetres, Monica's thought we could have 500.8 metres. Can anyone see what she might have done?
Yes.
Ellie? It is shorter. How many centimetres are on your ruler? 30. How many centimetres in 1 metre? Lockie? 100. So for every 100 centimetres, it's 1 metre.
Same. We're not going to go over this obviously just yet, but what Monica's done is she's converted the centimetres to metres. Okay, to make it a little bit smaller. Same but different. Alright, representing a number a different way.
We are going to, without any noise, leave our whiteboards where they are and markers. We're not going to pack them away at the moment because these guys are still testing. Rub it out. You are going to need your books and something to write with, a pencil or a pen.
doing a test. Hogan and Anthony, are you listening?
Oh, it's just drawing. Like, you haven't contributed, and yet you're still drawing. Just before we go outside, because people are probably not going to listen much outside, this little device measures what? What do you think it measures? What do you think one circle might measure? Jordan, a metre. Now, ordinarily they would click. They don't click. What you're going to have to do in your groups is start it on the start, and the best way would be to roll it so that it goes forward, and then when it comes back, that's one. So someone is going to have to be carefully watching and counting. So if I wanted to measure the distance from here to where Mrs. GW is, it would be
One to see when it
One.
hits one.
2, 235. So 2.35 metres. It's going to be really important that you watch and you are carefully measuring. We're going to go out, we're going to measure some of the elements out here for your project. We're going to do basketball court. Will, you know what? You might just stay in here and not be part of this.
I'm fine with that.
Yep, because you're actually distracting other people.
He wasn't even
No,
listening.
sorry, and you can miss out on your lunchtime if that's going to be your attitude.
Oh, I don't care.
So shut it now.
Still staying in there.
You are being ridiculously disrespectful. So get out now. Stand up and get out. How disrespectful. Now. Quick. Grab your stuff. We don't want you in here anymore. You can get out. Alright, everyone else, we're going to leave the space.
So, in your groups, can someone come and one person come and grab one of these? You already were put into your groups. What did we have? 5 in a group. It's okay. We'll find out. Alright? Let's just take these other ones out and figure out who's in what group. Go out that door, we'll go out to the basketball court. Remember, you've got basketball court, you've got different areas. Someone will need to try and do the playground. Out that door, I will start to out. Guys, out that door over there, please.